Hello and welcome back to the Horse Racing Network with me, Izzy Phillips, and I'm joined as always by racing broadcaster and journalist Paul Auster. And we're going to be taking a look ahead to this Saturday's racing at Haydock and at Ascot. Paul, are you looking forward to it? Quite a couple of reasonable cards.
Oh, I mean, the cards are very good. I mean, we're not going to have too many runners in the big races, but hopefully what we lose in quantity will make up for more or less in quality.
Yeah, it does look a better quality because I did feel that maybe the racing at the November meeting didn't quite have the quality it normally has. So I'm very hopeful that over the next couple of weeks we're going to see some of these higher quality horses making their return. I know we've already had a few this past week. It was like a Monday deluge of grade one performances, really. But we're going to kick things off with Haydock Park and if you're going, I think you've got reasonable weather on today and tomorrow on the Friday, but Saturday there is a little bit of rain around in the forecast, so you could find that the ground does end up with just a little bit more give in it. It's currently good to soft, also it could get a little softer than that, especially throughout the day with racing, because it seems to be a little bit stronger in the morning, so by the time they race, um, it could be a little softer, but that could benefit one or two in the field here. Like you say, Paul, I think really high quality field in the Betfair chase at 3 o'clock, and we kick things off at the top of the market with Grey Dawning. I know he's one that many are looking forward to the return of. You've also got Haiti Couleurs, who's already won one race this season. You've also got Handstands for the Ben Pauling team, Royal Pagaille for Venetia Williams, who's usually does well in the soft, and Stella Story as well for Gordon Elliott. So a small field, but a good field, I feel. Where do you go with this one?
Well, um, first of all, we've got Royal Pagaille trying to win it for a third time. I mean, he's a stone better, as we know, at Haydock than he is anywhere else. So even though he's going to be making a seasonal reappearance, it hasn't stopped him in the past, but he is beginning to get a little bit old, is a Royal Pagaille. What is he? Nearly 12 years old. He'll be 12 years old on New Year's Day. Still rated 159. So even though on the figures he's got something to find, he is not one to write off too easily because he just does run so well at this track. But I want to say something here, Izzy, about the state of British 3 mile chasing and let's say Ireland in particular, where of course there's so much quality and strength in depth. On Sunday in Ireland at Punchestown, we've got the John Durkan Memorial, which is a grade one. And when you look at the quality of their horses, which is an early Gold Cup trial, I suppose, as well, for the Irish, the same way the Betfair chase at Haydock is, we've got Factor File rated 173, Gaelic Warrior rated 170, all possible runners. The Gold Cup winner, I know the way you're thinking, rated 176. The Irish Gold Cup winner, Fast or Slow, the Punchestown Gold Cup winner rated 168, and others as well, including Nick Rocket, the Grand National winner, and Ian Maximus, a former Grand National winner. The fact is that the Irish race is a much deeper race, a much higher quality race than the one we're going to see at Haydock, which is a grade one and carries more prize money. So it's surprising that only one Irish runner has come over, and that is Gordon Elliott's Stellar Story, who on the face of it does have a bit to find. I think we're going to find this race probably narrowing down to where the market has it. Grey Dawning, who's possibly one of the leading hopes for Britain in the Gold Cup this year. Whether he's quite good enough, I don't know, but he won at Kelso Enlisted Company in March. He was second to Royal Pagaille in the race last year. Since then, according to official figures, he's improved £9, whereas Royal Pagaille, his rating has gone backwards, £7 lower. So there's been a £16 turnaround in their official ability, according to the handicapper, making Grey Dawning seemingly the one to beat. I think it's going to be hard to oppose him, although Haiti Couleurs, who's improving fast, the Irish national winner, who won really impressively over 3 miles in a little handicap hurdle a couple of weeks ago, he's going to be fit and raring to go. And if the ground deteriorates, that will help Haiti Couleurs. Now, last week I put one up at a short price at Cheltenham and it ran like a drain. Terrible, the Dan Skelton horse. I'm hoping this time Grey Dawning doesn't let us down. I think he's going to be pretty hard to beat. And it might be that the old boy Royal Pagale is the biggest danger.
Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it actually. You sometimes get these horses that particularly love particular races or particular tracks, and I think that that's got to be true of Royal Pagaille. Last year's race has to be an indicator of that. He absolutely clouted 1-4 from home. I thought his race was completely gone, and the way he rallied to beat Grey Dawning was pretty remarkable, to be completely honest with you. But he was a year younger then, and
Yeah.
his season didn't really spring on much further from there. In fact, it, as you say, actually declined, whereas Grey Dawning did appear to almost go from strength to strength, actually. Obviously, if Skelton's form's anything to go by, Grey Dawning should be well and truly tuned up for this. I think that what's quite interesting is to hear the way that Ben Paulin speaks about handstands. He holds him in really, really high regard. So I think they will be hoping for quite a big performance, and I think that he could end up being like a little bit of a big price at 6-1, and maybe almost like the forgotten one of the five that could run a little bit better than expected. But I think you're right. I think they're going to have to go some to beat Grey Dawning, who seems to be in a better place this year than he was when he was second in the race last year. That's for certain. Let's just keep an eye on that rain for Royal Pagaille, because you never know when the Venetia form is going to hit. It's something definitely to keep an eye on. We're going to move proceedings now over to Ascot, who are also expecting a little bit of rain on Saturday, perhaps not quite so intensely as Haydock. They've got a drier morning, but their rain is predicted to pick up actually throughout the afternoon. So if you are going racing at Ascot, take your brolly. We're going to kick things off with the 1:30, which is the 1965 Chase, and top of the market here. Another small field is Il A Francais, and obviously I know that he has been absolutely incredible at Kempton the past couple of years at Christmas. You've also got here Django Bay, Pic Dorhe, who is just an incredible Ascot specialist, really. He was last seen at Wincanton, and you've also then got Gidley Park and Master Chewy for the Twiston Davis team. Again, Paul, here another small field, reasonable quality, perhaps a bit better this chase than the chase at Haydock. A little bit short of this one, 2 mile 5. What do you make of it?
Well, again, rather like Royal Pagile over at Haydock, we've got a horse trying to win the race for the third time, and Pic Dory has won it the last 2 years. And to be honest, his reappearance run, which was over 3 miles, which stretched him, he was just beaten a length by Jello at Wetherby in the Charlie Hall, the Grade 2. That was a very good first effort of the season. And he's going to be tough to beat. I think he will be tough to beat, Pic Dory, with Harry Cobden. I think he's going to try and expose any flaws. First of all, in the fitness of Django Bai, who, of course, was a Grade 1 winner last season in that ridiculous Arkle chase where he came from miles back to fly home between horses and beat Only by Night. And then he was third at Aintree after that. He's had a breathing operation as Django Bai for Nicky Henderson. But Il Est Francais is really interesting because he was trained by Noel George and Amanda Zetterholm in France until the spring, and now he's moved to Tom George. It's an interesting move. They obviously want to keep him in Britain so he can really focus on the British chases instead of going backwards and forwards across the channel. And he's run in the King George. Of course, last season when he was nailed by Bambridge in the closing stages was a big effort. On the figures, he's got a lot going for him here. First of all, he's rated £3 higher than Pic Dory, and he's getting £6 from Pic Dory. So he's £9 well in at the weights is Il Est Francais. But I just think that with Pictori already having had a run and knowing just how good he is at this track, he might prove hard to beat. So I would take Pictori to beat Il Est Francais here. The other two outsiders, Gidley Park, who's a good horse for Harry Fry, and Master Chewy, I think they might find this a bit too much to handle. So Pictori for me, for Paul Nicholls.
I couldn't agree more. I was so impressed with Pic Dorhe at Wetherby, and I was actually a little bit of a skeptic because I do love his runs at Ascot. He has become an Ascot specialist. There are many races there that he's won multiple times. Obviously, you've got that big one coming up in February as well. And I do I was a little concerned when I saw that he was going to Wetherby. I thought, oh, I don't know if it's really going to be the sort of thing for him. And the way he jumped like a stag. It was absolutely beautiful. And I don't really know why I expected anything less, because he does that at Ascot. So the fact he was able to head to Wetherby and kind of replicate that, um, it's it perhaps was a bit of a hard race. That's my only concern. Is like, will he be fresh enough for this? That's where maybe the likes of maybe Ile Francais might be a little bit fresher. Obviously, I know he's had a run already as well, but like you said, you've got the Gidley Park in there, who's a good horse. Could potentially be coming into it with those fresh legs. But I agree with you. I can't see past Big Torhy here. I think he's a fantastic price, and I would definitely be liking him to take on Ile Francais. I think Ile Francais is a very good horse, and I'm the same as you. I'm sort of watching this change in tactic for them, because they obviously had been kind of going back and forward to France, which I don't think was perhaps doing him any favours, to be fair. But yeah, over 2 mile 5, he could be a bit of a force to be reckoned with. Obviously, we referenced that King George, where he was collared, and it did seem to play into the hands of a stayer like Banbridge. But this trip, I think, will obviously suit him much better. But I'm not going to get drawn into it. But maybe quite a nice forecast potentially pick Dorhe to beat Ile Francais. We'll see how that gets on. And then after that, I really do like the card at Ascot at the weekend. I do have to say, you have got the Ascot hurdle. We've currently got a field of 9 runners. And at the top of the market, we've got Gordon Elliott's Woodoo, who has really, really impressed last season. And I think a horse that many people took away and put in their trackers for this year. You've then got Potter's Charm, who was an unlucky faller last time out. You've then got Celtic Dino for the ever in form at the minute, Sam Thomas. Alta Belly, who has won at Ascot before. You've got Katira for the Skelton team, who obviously won that champion hurdle, obviously beat the last year's champion hurdle winner Golden Ace last time out. You've then got Crambo, who's another one who's stolen a couple, especially a big one at Ascot before. Nemean Lion, Winter Fog, and Gwenny May Boy bringing up the rest. A really interesting field here. I can make sort of chances for a couple. Where would you go first?
Well, I think obviously you highlighted it, Izzy, here. That Wadu was a real revelation last season. She improved out of all recognition, from listed company all the way up to winning at the Cheltenham Festival, and then finished. The only horse that beat her last term was Lossymouth. So that really
Yeah.
is great form. That was in the Grade 1 at Aintree. Question is she going to be as progressive this season? It's not always easy with mares for them to keep churning out the high-level performances, although there have been one or two, notably horses like Annie Power, of course, and indeed Lossymouth herself that can do it. Um, she gets weight allowances as well, which makes her a very attractive theoretical horse for this race. But it's her first run of the season, and I'm sure they're going to have some big prizes in mind for her. So I'm not sure they'll want to really, really get knock her about if it gets really tough. We'll see. 11 to 8, I think, is a little bit skinny. That's the best price being offered at the time we're recording this video for you on Thursday tea time. Potter's Charm, as you mentioned, came a cropper early on at Wetherby, so we can ignore that. And on some of his form last season, including the Grade 1 win at Aintree on Boxing Day in the Formby Novices Hurdle, he'd have a chance. Got to go a little bit further here, but he does stay. Celtic Dino, as you pointed out, the Sam Thomas form is good, but he's been winning handicaps, and this is much, much tougher. Altabelli loves the track, the course and distance, but again has a bit to find. Crambo, a real Ascot specialist, but over 3 miles. You'd imagine, he normally races prominently, that they're going to really go hard with Crambo and try and draw the sting out of Woodhoo and a few others. And I just think that might set it up for Katira. Now, as you pointed out, she beat Golden Ace at Wetherby, but Golden Ace wasn't ready, was she? She was just there just to get ready, I think, for the Fighting Fifth at Newcastle, and she had to have a run. And so the 28 length defeat of the champion hurdle winner cannot be taken in any way, literally. But on other form, including last season finishing fifth to Crambo over 3 miles, which stretched her too far, I think. she's got really excellent form around 2.5 miles, winning at Aintree Festival over 2.5 miles in April 24, and then winning in November 24 a year ago in good company over 2 miles 5. And I think Katira, with that run blowing the cobwebs away, might be the each way value against Wood, who at around 11-1 at the moment.
Yeah, really, really nice price. And like you say, um, quite impressive last time out as well. I know that it was obviously a very tactical race, but still got the job done, and that's really all you can ask. I do really like Woodhoo. The one that's interesting to me is that Out of Belly has had that wind surgery, and I'm wondering, whether that will make a little bit of a difference to him. He obviously did get that win last season at Ascot in February, beating Joya Machen. Now, I understand this is probably a little bit hotter, but sometimes you're not quite sure what improvement a wind surgery can bring about, and he was already winning races at Ascot. So he's one that I'm keeping an eye on, probably at a slightly bigger price outside of Woodhoo, who I would really like to see kind of get the job done here. I'm a massive Lossiemouth fan, so and I personally think Woodhoo ran really really well against her. So I hope that form holds up, because I really want Lossiemouth to go for the champion hurdle.
Well, it'd be
But
great if she does go for it this year. I mean, it,
yes.
it, it was such a shame I won't say they chickened out last year, but they took the safe option,
Mm.
didn't they? And with what
Yeah.
happened in the race itself, they're probably still regretting that decision.
Absolutely. And, that's again that credit to Jeremy Scott. You've got to be in the race to win it. And I think, credit to him. I know it obviously didn't work out at Weatherby last time, but does it matter? They won the big one. And if Lossie Mouth would have been in there, you've got to think that she'd have picked up the spoils quite easily. So I really do hope they go for it this year. Obviously, in light of that sad news that State Man is out for the season, I'm sure that Mullins will want to have a strong runner in the champion hurdle, so maybe he can convince Rich Ritchie to take that pathway. Who knows? At least if anyone is going to do it as a trainer, it'll be Willie Mullins. So in him
That's
we
right.
trust until then. But that is all we have time for on our preview this week. All the best on Saturday. Hopefully we have picture out a winner or two, and we'll see you again next time.